guys, welcome back to the channel. We have ridden in every single seat and room on Amtrak, and there is a clear winner. We're going to break it down for you right now.
All right, we spent the last several years riding in every single possible seat and room, Viewliner, Superliner, all of it. We're going to break it down for you right now, what the clear winner is for that, and which ones are the worst value for your money. This is value for your money in reverse order. So we're going to start with the very worst one, and we're going to get all the way to the champion of Amtrak. And starting out, jump right in. The worst value for your money on Amtrak is business class. We've ridden that several times thinking that it was going to be this big upgrade, this big revelation. If you've ridden on a flight in an airline, business class is kind of like way better than coach. Not exactly the case on Amtrak. On Amtrak, we found out it's really just coach, but with free drinks.
That's basically it. The funny part is the seats in business class and in coach are oftentimes the exact same seats. So it's not that they're always going to be bigger or more spacious or whatever. And the other thing too that I think a lot of people don't think about is sometimes those business cars are fuller than the coach cars.
Yeah.
They'll have oftentimes a lot of empty seats, and really, I mean, you said it, the only thing that you're getting is you get free drinks. I mean, how many, drinks can you get in business class to make it worth? It's usually several $100s more, so you'd have to be, probably have quite a few beverages on the train, and that's just regular drinks. That's not like alcoholic beverages. We're talking about like sodas and waters and such. It really is not worth it at all. It's the worst.
It is. The next one moving up is going to be the Superliner Bedroom, and the Superliner Bedroom is really nice, but it is really, really expensive. And oftentimes we find it is not worth the money because there is one big flaw with the Superliner Bedroom, and that is that unless you really like sleeping on a small bed with the person you're riding with, one person still has to sleep on the top. So you're not getting this situation where, well, if we get the bedroom, then the bed's big enough for us to both sleep on the lower level. Someone still has to climb up that bunk. And so you're not really saving a lot of, heartache over getting a different type of room. So the Superliner Bedroom comes in as one of the worst values on Amtrak.
Yeah, I think that's the tricky part, is people think that they'll both be able to sleep on the bottom. The funny part is that bed is a little bit bigger than the regular bed in a roomette, but not big enough for two full-size adults. So we don't both fit down there like to sleep through the night. It'd be like sleeping in like a twin bed. With another full-grown adult. So it really is not suitable. And then on top of that, the bathroom is really not that much of an advantage. We find oftentimes either when we're in a bedroom or other people in a bedroom, they end up going downstairs to shower or to go to the bathroom because it is so tiny.
Yeah, especially the shower, because it's one of those all-in-one showers. If you take a shower in your bedroom, you're going to get the entire bathroom wet. It is kind of like a wet shower toilet bathroom combination. Not ideal for a lot of people. Next one moving up the list a little bit is the Viewliner one bedroom. It has the same problem as the Superliner, but the Viewliner trains, there's more room, there's more space for the person on the top bunk, which is usually me. I appreciate the little bit more room, but the Viewliner ones are a little bit older and a little bit, not a nice of a condition, so it kind of has this place on the list, not that high.
Yeah, I mean, not really a ton to add to that other than the fact that, yeah, it has that same issue again with the bathroom. Again, it's too small really to use, and it's not that comfortable when it comes down to it.
And then moving up the list a little further, this is where you get a little bit better. The Viewliner 2 bedroom. Still, again, you're not sleeping on the lower level together, but the Viewliner 2s are actually a lot newer. They are much newer than the Viewliner 1s, much nicer. All the furnishings are better. It's more well equipped. Just a better ride. Now, I do want to point out also that when we're talking about the Superliners, we're not distinguishing between one or two because they are essentially the same. So this is going to be the Viewliner 2-bedroom. It is pretty nice. Still comes in, because the value is not there. It's just, they're very, very expensive.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, because the main selling point, I think from Amtrak's point of view, their main selling point for the bedroom is you get your own shower and bathroom and sink in your room. Sounds amazing, but then you get there and you look at it and you're like, holy moly, I gotta back into this thing. So that's how come it's still so far down the list. So let's move a little bit further up the list. What's the next one?
Next one's the family bedroom. Now, you only find this on the Superliner. This actually starts to get you a little more space, because they did not try to put a bathroom situation in the family bedroom. So it's all just couches and beds. Now, it's like a wall of couches and beds. It just feels like when you walk in there, it's just beds galore, because it can sleep 2 adults and 2 small children. You could sleep 4 people in this family bedroom. You cannot really sleep 4 adults because 2 of the beds are very short. Now, it is still more expensive than some of the roomettes and some of the other things, and it is only on the lower level, so that is a problem for some people. One other thing we've really noticed over the years riding in the family bedroom is the soundproofing is not good, is it?
No, it's tough. If you are in the family bedroom, you are not only going to, whatever you say, discuss in that room is going to be heard by the people in the roomettes right next to you on each side of you, and also anything that's said or discussed in the roomettes next to you will be heard in your room. It's a pretty tight space if you have 4 people. If it's 2 of you, you get away with it, but you still can't both sleep on the bottom in a family bedroom.
Yeah, because that bunk on the end is too short for an adult, so that people think you can, and you just can't. So now moving up, this is where you start to get some serious value for your money. There's kind of a break right there. This is where I'd say it starts to get, anything past this is pretty good value, and that's going to be coach class. Coach class is really a good value for money for a lot of reasons.
Absolutely. As I mentioned earlier when we were talking about business class, the seats in coach class are just as nice as those. They're not just as nice, they are the same seats in many cases as the business seats. So the seats are comfortable, they recline back. You have the footrest that comes up. You have the storage space overhead. You've got your charging, right there next to you. There's really so many pluses to it. And then again, it's such a good deal when you're traveling on it that it really is coming in here right kind of in the meaty part of this list.
Yeah, the coach is such a good deal because sometimes you can get these for less than $100. And I do think that on some of the trains, the coach class seats are even nicer than the business class. They tried to do like this little upgraded business class, and it just didn't work. That's why business class is the worst. Coach class is here, kind of in the middle, because they're actually a really good value. If you're thinking about riding in coach, it is a great value. Now, I will say, if you're going to ride in coach overnight, it becomes a little bit more dicey if you can sleep like that, because they don't lie flat. They lie, back at an angle, more so than an airplane, more like first class on an airplane. Actually, maybe even a little more than that. But when you start to get into being in coach for 2 nights, that's where it becomes a little difficult, right?
Yeah, you kind of have to really gauge if this is something that you're comfortable doing, because the difficult part about traveling in coach overnight for more than 1 night is the fact that people are coming and going at all hours of the night. The train is still stopping at all of the stations in the middle of the night. So you've got people shifting in and out of the train in the middle of the night. And no matter how hard they try, if they're trying to be quiet, it's still going to be pretty noisy with people moving around. And sometimes, unfortunately, they don't make that big of an effort to be quiet. So it's going to be pretty noisy. That's kind of the big difference between trying to sleep in coach and trying to sleep in a sleeper car accommodation. You've got the door that you can close in the sleeper cars, while you obviously do not have that door in coach.
All right, moving on to the next best value. You're looking at the Superliner accessible bedroom. This is a bedroom which is accessible. It's on the lower level of the Superliner car, and it's a really good room. It's a really good value because if you qualify to be in that room and you meet certain criteria, it is discounted. So you do need to check that when you're on the Amtrak website booking this room. But it is a really good deal, and the room is quite nice. It is basically the same kind of end of the hallway type deal as the family bedroom, but it does have a bathroom facility in the room, unlike the family bedroom, so that is pretty nice for it.
Yeah, I think the only tricky part there, as you mentioned, is that there are some stipulations for writing in that particular room because it is an accessible room and they're extremely limited. There is only one in each of the sleeper car trains, so that's not very many of them.
Yeah, you will find you will have difficulty getting that room if you are not booking pretty far in advance. Next one's going to be the Viewliner 1 accessible bedroom, and it kind of has the same deal as the Superliner. The only difference is it's a little bit easier to get around a train on a Viewliner than a Superliner because the Superliner is 2 levels, so it is more difficult to get up the stairs to go to the dining car versus on the Viewliner accessible, it's a little bit easier to move around the whole train.
Yeah, exactly. That is kind of an advantage. I mean, we've seen people, try to make it up or down the stairs on a Superliner if they're in an accessible room, and it has been quite a bit of a challenge. But on the Viewliner, not really a challenge because it's just a floor deal, so that's really good.
All right, next up is probably the most controversial room in the entire Amtrak system. Let us know in the comments whether you love this or you hate this, and we'll let you know what we think. I think we think different things. But this is the Viewliner 1 Roomette, and the reason that it is super controversial is it has a toilet in the room, but it's not like in a separate enclosed area. It is right next to the lower bed.
It's right next to one of the seats. And then when the bed is made up, it is right next to the bed, as in they're touching. So that one is, it's funny because I go back and forth on this one. Like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, it would be good to have a Viewliner 1 Roomette. And then other times I'm like, I don't think I want the toilet in here. I think I'd rather just go in the hall in the middle of the night. It is very awkward. Obviously if you have 2 people in the room and somebody has to go to the bathroom, it's kind of weird if you're just sitting there, either sitting across from them, staring at them, or sitting right next to them while they're going to the bathroom. It's really quite bizarre, and that's what makes it so controversial, really.
Yeah.
Everybody goes back and forth. Let us know what you think. But everybody goes back and forth on this one, on if it's okay or not to put something like a toilet in a room.
Yeah, because there's no curtain, there's no room, it's just there. Now in the middle of the night, I sleep on the upper bed usually, and I find it pretty convenient to not have to go out into the hallway. I don't think that Allie likes it as much for those purposes, but I really don't mind it. I think I like it more than she does, but a lot of people really don't like this room, so let us know what you think. Next up, it is a good value though. Next up is going to be the Superliner Roomette. This is kind of the tried and true room. We're down to the top 3 here. This is a great value Superliner Roomette. This is our most stayed in room, and the reason we like it is that it's kind of a good all-arounder. Not that expensive, and it's just a good room, and we like it a lot.
Yeah, the Superliner Roomette is just one of those, like you said, it's tried and true. It's always there for you. And it's just really always a pretty good deal, honestly. And it gets you where you're going. It's a good setup for 2 people or just 1 person. And it's just an easy room to accommodate what you need for 1 or 2 nights.
Now I will say the reason that it is 3rd instead of 2nd or 1st is that the person that is on the upper level of this Superliner Roomette, it's going to be tight. It's going to be, you're going to have about that much room.
Total.
And when you're laying there, if you're claustrophobic at all, it is not going to work. And so Allie does not like to sleep up there or even go up there because she does not like that at all. So make sure that one of you is okay in pretty tight spaces before you book a Superliner Roomette. That brings us to the biggest room in the Amtrak system, and that's the Viewliner 2 accessible bedroom. This room is absolutely huge. It is a good deal if you can get it with the discount, if you qualify for that. It is exceptionally hard to find, though. You will almost never find one of these. It is just very hard to get because it's the biggest room. It's a good deal. It's a great room. But if you can get one and you need access to an accessible bedroom, you are going to be riding in style.
Yeah, it's really kind of like a needle in a haystack type thing, because this particular room on one whole Viewliner train, there's one, maybe two if you're lucky, but really usually only just the one. So it's like, you know, winning the lottery if you can get a Viewliner 2 accessible bedroom. And the thing is that this is not one where you would even know that that's what you're getting, unfortunately. You will not know until you get onto the train and you're like, this is the one, because you'll obviously know the difference between the two of them.
Yeah, so that leads us to the clear winner in the Amtrak system of all of the seats, all of the rooms, and it is the Viewliner 2 Roomette. The Roomette, we think, is just the best way to travel for a lot of reasons. Cost, comfort, style, and just how these are equipped. This is the newer Roomette, and what we love about the Viewliner 2, for the person in the top bunk, there is tons of room. Like, you can sit up there, and when you've been on a Superliner and you're kind of laying, looking at how close the ceiling is to you, and then you see the difference of the Viewliner 2 Roomette and you see how much space you have, you will not want to be on the Superliner again. It is like you're spoiled. You even have windows up there. I love having the windows up there at night to look out from the Viewliner 2 Roomette. I just think it's a comfortable ride. I like the colors. I like everything about the Viewliner 2 Roomette, and the price is also great.
Yeah, I know how much you love that, because it is really nice. It makes a huge difference when you can actually sit up. I mean, you can fully sit up in that top bunk, and you can enjoy the views as well long after I've gone to bed. You can still have you have your own set of curtains up there. You can still have the curtains open and kind of enjoy that. The other cool thing about it is that they left the space where they used to have the toilet, but instead of the toilet, it's just storage space, which is incredible because you can slide things underneath or, you know, set stuff on top, whereas with the toilet, obviously there's no space underneath, and you do still have the sink in that room. You just don't have the toilet in there, which I think is perfect, because it's nice to not have to go to the bathroom in the morning, you know, to wash your hands or to wash your face or to brush your teeth. You can do it right there in your room before you run to breakfast. And you know, with the Viewliner 1, you go to the bathroom right there in the room and the sink and everything, but again, you have that whole uncomfortable thing. So the Viewliner 2 Roomette is really the obvious winner here. It makes the most sense. Now, there is the difference. You've heard us talking about Superliner, Viewliner. Now, you can't choose those because those are chosen by the route that you are taking. If you're going, you know, through New York, then you're going to be on a Viewliner train. If you're going on the cross-country trains east to west, for the most part, those are your Superliner trains. So if you're going in that direction, then you'll know, okay, which is the best one. You can kind of go through this list and pick which one is the best one of the Superliners, which is going to be your Roomette, is the highest ranking of the Superliners. And if you're going to be in a Viewliner going, you know, a route that goes through New York, you're going to be in that Viewliner, and your best bet is the #1 overall, which is the Roomette.
Yeah, so let us know what you think. If you have ones that you just love or that we ranked highly that you didn't like, let us know in the comments. We would love to hear your thoughts. Please give us a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you on the next video.